Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, we find out about a lorry driver shortage really making our area struggle. We look at Haybrough's efforts in this year's In Bloom competition. We hear about the cost of the environment of industry coming to the Humber, and Dan Kemp will be along later to take a look at some stories doing the rounds. Welcome to Estuary News, I'm Helen Barley. Now it's over to Dan Kemp for the news headlines.
Hello there. Labour have retained their seat in Grimsby's Croft Baker ward following a by-election. Annie Darby won by a majority of 255. The election was called following the sad death of former North East Lincolnshire Council Deputy Leader Mick Burnett. More time can now be spent treating patients thanks to a new piece of equipment at Grimsby's Diana Princess of Wales Hospital. Staff at the Northern Lincolnshire and Goole NHS Foundation Trust raised £4,000 at one of their regular fundraising events, and now the money has been spent on a new bladder scanner. It'll mean the emergency department at the hospital can spend more time treating patients.
Previously we've always had to borrow a bladder scanner from a ward, so that basically takes a nurse out of the department, going around wards where they could be doing far more useful things in the department. So now we've got our own bladder scanner, and that will tell us whether a patient has got a full bladder. And if a patient has a full bladder and hasn't been able to pass urine, then that probably means that the patient will need a catheter to help them pass urine.
Beverley residents have been encouraged to check out their local allotments. The town's allotments have been open to the public for the National Garden Scheme Open Allotments Day this Sunday. The aim of the event is to get people interested in getting their own facility and growing their own fruit and veg, as Representative Lance explained.
We get an awful number of people come and they're all wondering about the allotments and everything. And then we have on our new shop we have teas and cakes and everything, which people seem to enjoy and have a chat. We don't give away any produce or anything like that. It's purely for people to come and have a look and probably get an allotment for themselves. And
finally, we've heard of horse racing, heard of greyhound racing, but have you heard of crab racing? Well, tomorrow you can get involved. The HCA Fishing Club at the Marina Bar on Grimsby Fish Dock will be hosting the event to raise funds for the Humberston Hydrotherapy Pool. So why not go and see if you can pick yourself a winner? That's all from me for now. If you have any news, then don't hesitate to contact us by calling 01472 31553. Bye for now.
The Humber region sees more than 65 million tonnes of cargo pass through its gateway, contributing to billions in the UK economy each year. However, there's currently a national shortage of 65,000 lorry drivers, and we're 3,618 short in our region. Emma Lingard took to the road.
With hauliers facing many challenges, the Chancellor George Osborne offered nothing in his summer budget to assist the industry. Transport lobby group the Road Haulage Association says the lack of investment will undermine the industry, leading to some companies facing closure. In Stallingborough, one haulage company recognises the issues and has felt them. With an ageing workforce desperate to get out, recruitment has never been so intense. The average age of their drivers is 45. The national average is 50. However, the issues are not the government's.
At the end of the day, I don't really see this as the government's problem. I think it's the transport companies' problems, and as you probably are aware that we've just come through one of the largest banking crises that any of our generations can remember. I think individuals at home and also businesses have suffered greatly, and people are still repaying and still recovering from what I would call a huge car crash. And therefore, you know, haulage companies haven't got the spare funds really at this moment in time to do the necessary training. I understand that the government has pumped millions of pounds into various other industries that possibly could be classified as more important.
Down the road in Immingham, a furniture removal company has also felt the effects of the driver shortage, and it's felt more needs to be done at school in giving out careers advice.
There's no talk in schools or colleges of why don't you become an HGV driver. And I think they might think of it as a career. I can't see why, even if they're not in industry, that the government couldn't lend these young people, just like a student loan, they'll lend people £9,000 to go to university, lend them £3,000 on an interest-free basis to pay back when they've got established. I think that would entice people more into the industry. And of course, that it is not a bad job. It's not the worst job in the world. It's probably not that well paid compared to some, but it's quite pleasant. And I think people just don't think of being an HGV driver.
In the past 5 years, HGV licence applications have dropped by more than 32,000. The cost of getting a licence at £3,000 is putting potential drivers off. And last September, experienced drivers left en masse rather than undertake the new Certificate of Professional Competence. One driver training organisation has noticed a drop in people entering the industry and believes more needs to be done by the government and the insurers.
I can't see the apprenticeship scheme working because they have to do the English and maths and that type of thing, and it doesn't work. We've tried it. I think the government should put a fund together where it can be drawn down, and when employment is gained, that money is paid back.
It remains to be seen what will now happen to prevent the industry grinding to a halt. But if left, then it could be the consumer who will be hit.
I want to see Grimsby put on the map.
Extraordinary qualities, unmatched in anywhere else in Britain.
We need to act with one voice.
I was absolutely shocked, I'll tell you the truth.
More police officer hours spent on patrol preventing crimes from happening.
You're watching Estuary News. Coming up later, we find out about the environment is being protected on the South Bank, and Dan Kemp will bring you the latest sports news. Summer for the Lincolnshire and Yorkshire regions means one thing for many villages. It's in bloom season again. This year, among the first villages, it's been the turn of Hayborough near Immingham. Richard Morris went along to see how the judging is shaping up.
It's that time of year again. In bloom judging is starting all over the county once again. I'm here in Hayborough, where they're hoping to beat on last year's bronze.
Our in bloom judging today, hopefully we got a bronze last year, so I'm hoping for a little bit better this year. It does encourage us to do, to go on to next year. I keep saying I'm not going to do it next year, but every year I said that last year, but depending on what we get and the support in the village, we will, hopefully carry on.
As well as carrying on in what has become a tradition in Hayborough, Jean hopes to impress the judges. The judging criteria require work all year round.
It involves things like seeing what it's like in the spring, in the autumn and in the winter, of course. Activities such as whether there's a Christmas tree or whether or not there's any choirs. So it does cover quite a range of things, but it's to try and actually just get a feel of what the community is doing for their village. What we do is we go around to all the different villages, and representatives show us around, show us all the different aspects of their village, and we're interested in not only the plants, because it is the bloom, but also interested in what the community are doing, whether there's community involvement, and also the environment, whether the village looks clean, tidy, whether or not the villagers are looking after it. So it's an all-round assessment.
And there are some real highlights for those visiting the village to go and see at the recommendation of the Chair of In Bloom for Hayborough.
Well, we've got a scarecrow competition running from today. That's running for up till Sunday or Monday next week. And obviously to come in and see the church is going to be open today, and it's open on Saturday as well. Refreshments will be available for that. But come and have a look at the scarecrows. I don't quite know what they're going to be like. I haven't seen them all myself, but come and have a look and have a laugh. That's what it's about, enjoying it.
Next up, investment on the banks of the Humber is cementing the future and creating thousands of jobs, but is it coming at the cost of the local environment? New projects like the one at Birkinshaw's Covert aim to tackle this problem, as Dave Nunn went to find out.
Companies like Able UK are bringing investment to the Humber, but arguably at a cost to the local environment. However, that's changing thanks to sponsorship of projects like Birkinshaw's Covert across the road from the Able site.
We're just coming to the end of the funding that's been provided by Able UK. You know, they're developing all the land around here. And Able UK provided £50,000 over this past year for habitat conservation work at this site, including the creation of the new ponds here, a lot of bat roosts that have gone in. They've supported local volunteers by funding the local conservation group. They've provided equipment, and they've also put in a new bridge to allow us to get into the other third of the woodland.
The support of companies such as Able has been essential to projects like this one at Birkinshaw's Covert.
And then in 2012 we managed to get the help of National Grid, where the 400 kV power line passes through the site, to turn that into a wildlife corridor. So that was a big boost to the site. But this past year, Able's support through the landfill tax has completely transformed the site.
Obviously, developments such as the energy park alongside factories and refineries do have an effect on the environment. Alan says that by all the companies cooperating with the Humber Nature Partnership, the impact can be minimised.
And I think without Humber Inca as it was and the Nature Partnership now, companies do want to, first of all, they want to be on good terms with local people, they want to involve local people, make local people part of what they're doing. But also they do, like all of us, think the environment is an important part of things. And I think when they have a major impact on the environment, such as the refinery, such as Able, such as any Centrica, any of our other members, if we're there to help them, we can obviously make sure that wildlife is catered for in their everyday activities and in projects such as this.
Now, joining me to discuss some of the stories of the day is Dan Kemp. Hi Dan, thanks for joining me.
Good evening.
Hello.
How are you?
All right, thanks, you.
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
What have you got?
Shall we see what we've got first?
Let's have a look.
First, yeah, this is the airports are the busiest ever as holiday makers head for Europe heatwave.
Okay.
So obviously there's a number of different factors going on here. There's the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Europe seeing 30 degrees plus throughout the next couple of weeks. And of course the euro is currently down as well. So you're going to get a good exchange rate for people flying out and the school holidays as well. So there's three things that are coming together.
There's nothing not to love there, isn't there?
Everyone is just
book it, pack your bags and go. And that's just, well, the weather's not been great here either, has it?
Are you one of these people that's taking that offer up?
Not at the moment, but what? Not right at the moment. We've been on holiday this year, actually. We did a little week in Portugal, which was lovely.
Did you find any kind of benefits with that?
Yeah, the weather. I mean, that's what we go. That's what us Brits go abroad for. I think number one priority, I honestly think, is the weather. That's what we escape this country for, is to have a week of hot, scorching sunshine that you can lay around the pool with.
And that's exactly why these airports are seeing so many people. Heathrow Airport, in particular, is predicting a record day on Friday, which of course is today. Yeah, and it anticipates 129,000 passengers to depart by plane today.
Wow.
And 500,000 over the entire weekend.
Now that's a lot, and I'm assuming with that, obviously security will be stepped up.
Exactly, of course, in the current climate as well.
Of course.
Well,
are you going on holiday?
I'm not going on holiday yet. No, nothing planned yet. But I've got tickets to go to the European Championships next year in France.
That's pretty cool.
So
you wait. That's your main holiday.
I'm saving my money for next year.
See all this, like you said, this is mainly children, isn't it? This is the 6-week school holidays now, and this is when it starts getting busy, and like you said, busiest day of the year because of that.
7 weeks as well, some of those.
7 weeks.
So another opportunity for people to get away, and of course, this news also brings a different kind of spin to holidays, and that's the fact what people are leaving behind when they go away.
Okay.
This is that police are warning about publicising holidays on social media.
It's easy done though, isn't it? I've done it before.
You wouldn't even think about it.
No.
Just putting on Twitter, I'm going away for a couple of weeks.
I'm off on holiday. Or even, you know, how you check yourself in or tag yourself at certain places abroad and you...
To a nice hotel in Portugal, as you
The
said.
good old selfie with a cocktail.
And then people know you're not.
People
you're
know you're
not in Grimsby.
Aren't at your home. And like we were saying before, all it takes is for somebody, a friend of yours, to know somebody who knows somebody else to then realise this house is
Facebook,
empty.
you don't have to see friends, you can also see what friends of friends are doing in certain ways.
If your security settings aren't right, then it can be broadcast to people you wouldn't want it to be broadcast to. So it's, I mean, it's good that they're warning us about this.
Exactly, it's quite a danger, and obviously the police are the people who have to pick us up at the wrong end when they've seen this happen to people. So it's good that they're obviously getting it out there.
Yeah.
And warning people before they head off this weekend.
I think it's important. It's something to think about. Like you've just said, it isn't something that you normally think about. So be careful when you're going on holiday. Don't broadcast it all over the place. And the last thing you want to do when you come back off holiday is find out that your house has been broken into. That'd be the worst end, wouldn't it? Yeah, definitely.
Right, should we see what else we've got then?
Yes.
This is in the Hull Daily Mail, and this is moves to create more public areas with free Wi-Fi access in Hull city centre.
Okay.
So this is going to go through. This is going to go through the council, and of course, as a result of City of Culture, and I suppose networking.
It's pushed them to do this, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think the funding they'll receive. They've received £25 million for programme work in the city centre, which is for the pedestrian routes, and as part of that, they're going to put the Wi-Fi in. And it makes perfect sense, really, because you can't go to many city centres nowadays
without the Wi-Fi, or even, I mean, 4G is the new thing now as well, isn't it? That is available in certain cities and areas you go to. But I mean, Wi-Fi is quicker and faster.
It's part of a wider thing. That
of course it is.
People just can't help but continue.
So we're going to see more people wandering around doing this, bumping into each other.
You've seen the story on that, haven't you? That was quite interesting.
That was brilliant.
Share that.
Yes, that was the whole lane thing, wasn't it? In China, where they have lanes where you can walk if you're on your phone, so you don't bump into people. Like a bike lane, but for mobile phone addicts.
It's a little bit sad as well, though, isn't it?
I
understand why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But I think surely it's a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah. But it'd be interesting to see it in Hull or Grimsby.
Do you think we would ever see it in Hull or Grimsby?
No. I don't know if it'd work. It's a hard one, isn't it?
I can't say I agree with it, to be honest. It's a little... I do get it, as I say, but it's just a little bit odd, isn't it?
It is a bit. Right, don't go anywhere, because we're going to come back to you later. Okay. It's now time to see our latest dog looking for its forever home in Dog of the Week.
Dog number 48 is a GSD male cross found in Grimsby 3 weeks ago. Clean in the kennel, doesn't chew, walks very good on a harness, and that's about all I can say about this chap.
Now he's nipped next door, it's Dan Kemp with the sports news.
Hull FC lost 48 points to 12 against Wigan Warriors at the KC Stadium last night. Richard Whiting and Joe Westerman scored the only tries, which were both followed by Mark Sneed conversions. The defeat leaves them in 7th position in Super League, and they'll now have a break before the Super 8s commence in a fortnight's time. Tonight, Hull KR travel to Langtree Park, where they'll face St Helens in their last game before the Challenge Cup semi-final against Warrington Wolves next Saturday. Head coach Chris Chester has opted to make a trio of changes to his squad as halfback Albert Kelly is rested, with recent signing Dame Chisholm his replacement. Also missing are suspended Kevin Leroy and youngster Matty Marsh. Free agent Ryan Taylor, who played under Steve Bruce at Wigan, is training with Hull City as he looks to find a new club. As far as outgoings are concerned at the KC, Serie A side Bologna have been linked with Abel Hernandez, but his wages and transfer fee might scupper any deal. James Chester has been linked with a Crystal Palace, with an £8 million price tag being mooted. Scunthorpe host Bolton Wanderers tonight at Glanford Park. Mark Robbins is continuing to look for new signings after signing Nottingham Forest striker Darius Henderson. Fellow Forest old boy Paul Anderson is training with the Iron, but no deal is thought to be in the offing. James McEwen and Sean Pearson have both returned to training for Grimsby Town. McEwen had been missing through viral meningitis, while Pearson had a rib injury, although the latter is the only likely to come out into contention for the game against Notts County tomorrow. Meanwhile, home games against Tranmere and Cheltenham in September and October have both been switched for the Mariners to Friday nights, as they've both been chosen for TV coverage. And that's all for the sport.
Dan Kemp's got his running shoes on and he's come back through with another story.
I'm here with one more before we leave
Okay.
tonight. And this is that after 2 decades, the public toilet, the Victorian underground toilets at the King Billy statue in Hull are going to be reopened. Or they're hoping to be reopened anyway.
Why?
Well, because I think the main reason, they're quite iconic in the city of Hull, so a lot of the people in the city, they know where they are, but they've not been open since the 90s, which is a time I barely remember. But obviously I know where the statue is. And there are only 3 currently publicly accessible toilets run by the council in the city.
Right.
And again, as we've been saying earlier, in 2 years' time, City of Culture 2017,
Yeah, of course, busy.
Tourists
Now,
need the toilet.
The thing with that strikes me, 90s toilets, the cleaning. Are they going to refurbish these toilets so they're all nice and sparkly?
Well, as far as I'm aware, the toilets have actually been removed. So obviously, the facility's still there underground.
That's a lot of bleach, isn't it?
Well, would you want to do that?
I wouldn't want that job.
I wouldn't touch it.
Refurbing them, luckily then.
Yeah, I assume they'll be putting more new toilets in.
Okay.
As opposed to using pre-existing toilets that have been festering for 20, 25 years.
That would be nice.
Yeah. I think so. And they've got the 3 current toilets. There are Queen Victoria Square, Albion Street and Nelson Street. And for Hull 2017.
Good idea then, really.
Tourists need to go to the toilet. Why not open a facility that already in it exists?
Yeah, wicked. Thank you ever so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me. Thank you. That's it for tonight. If you've a news story, then visit our Facebook or Twitter pages, details on the screen, or email news@estuary.tv or phone Grimsby 01472 31 5553. Until tomorrow, good evening.
To see Grimsby put on the map.
Extraordinary qualities, unmatched in anywhere else in Britain.
We need to act with one voice.
I was absolutely shocked, I'll tell you the truth.
More police officer hours spent on patrol preventing crimes from happening.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. A dry morning on Saturday with sunny spells, cloudy afternoon with a few showers and highs of 19 degrees. Sunday starting dry and bright with some rain in the afternoon.